knight in all the sword swimming by, riding through the mist. I'm the knight in all the sword swimming by, riding through the mist with honor as my guide. Blade strong, stronger than a dragon's bite, in the cause of power and the Lord of might. Marching through the battlefields with fearless pride, across the seas where the legends never hide. Storm clouds gathered, but my heart never bends with my speed. I'm the knight in all the sword swimming by, riding through the mist with honor as my guide. Blade strong, stronger than a dragon's bite, in the cause of power and the Lord of might. Marching through the battlefields with fearless pride, across the seas where the legends never hide. Storm clouds gathered, but my heart never bends with my speed. I'm the knight in all the sword swimming by, riding through the mist with honor as my guide. Blade strong, stronger than a dragon's bite, in the cause of power and the Lord of might. Marching through the battlefields with fearless pride, across the seas where the legends never hide. Storm clouds gathered, but my heart never bends with my speed. I'm the knight in all the sword swimming by, riding through the mist with honor as my guide. Blade strong, stronger than a dragon's bite, in the cause of power and the Lord of.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? Big crowd tonight, big crowd. Hope all you are doing good. I'm kind of pissed off about yesterday though. Apparently I went live late last night and yeah, YouTube, what's going on here? What's going on? Apparently I only recorded 6 minutes of Fallen Order last night, so uh what can you do? What can you do? I am just waiting for my co-host Joker to arrive before we dive right in and hope for the best. But we will see. We will see what happens. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday night. We have a lot to talk about. I haven't watched the state of play, but I seen some games that have been confirmed. But I don't mind the spoilers actually. I don't mind. Hopefully things go a-okay with tonight. Hopefully I won't dip out as much. Um, we'll see. I hope all of you have been good. I missed you guys. I'm sorry about Monday. I was really, really, really tired. Like when I got home, I literally collapsed. When I got home, I collapsed. Um, I collapsed that night. I was not good. Like I felt dizzy. I felt like I felt like somebody took a sledgehammer and just smacked it into my back, and I was out. Like I was out. I was out cold on Monday, and then last night, same thing. That's why I was streaming so late at night. But now I'm here. I'm here. Hey, Fire Devil. Hey, Sunflower. I'm waiting on Joker so we can get the so that way we can get this going. I have the stuff. I have some of the topics ready if I can find them, but because I know he has a lot to talk about as well. Um, we'll see, but I missed you guys. Hey, Vanessa Kitty. It just crashed again. I don't know what the fuck. I really don't know. I'm starting to get pissed. I'm starting to get pissed a little bit. Hey, Joker.
Ooh. Right, I'm here. I was playing my game. So, well, the state of play happened, and I do believe there are some really cool games that are coming out. Some cool titles uh, like like a
Go ahead.
new
Go.
Chinese developed King Arthurian legend with their take on it. Looks
Nice.
absolutely amazing. This is the profile pic of the character,
Ooh, see,
voiced
that
by
is sexy. That's a sexy character. See, you see, ladies and gentlemen, they can do sexy. This
Chinese
is
developers.
this is all
Looks
we need.
really good.
Oh, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Now this I can get behind. I like to hear her story and what she's all about and everything.
Kind of based on Arthurian legend that they said, and obviously, of course, we're in Europe because you can tell by the landmark in the background that, oh, yeah, we're in London, all right. And well, we can't show the gameplay, but I can honestly safely say production design, fidelity looks fantastic. Got a little bit of Shadow Colossus vibes. Was some of the bosses look like they are ripped out of Shadow Colossus, Team Ico. I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. And like being a library for one of the bosses, I'm like, oh my god, this game looks awesome. And the action is pretty tight, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll be getting that in the future, and gameplay soon. Look, but this game looks awesome. This looks amazing. That it's what I want to see from developers. Like have fun. We can have the high fidelity stuff, but don't sacrifice gameplay for fidelity. This stuff looks amazing right now. I'm like, wow, like really cool.
Mm-hmm. I did see the Sonic racing. It looks. I'm gonna get it.
And they are doing Sonic Riders as well. So, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Finally, there you go. Get some love for the Sonic Riders games. Those were good. Well, at least the first two, at least. Not we don't talk about free riders. That we don't talk about Sonic free riders at all here, folks. That wasn't a very good Connect game. The first
No,
riders, excellent,
I get what they were trying to go for, and
but
you
it
would.
was the Connect, not a very good motion system. I remember seeing Angry Joe's video about that. I'm like, this game cannot be as good as they were saying, but or like, no, you're just not like we gotta play the game, we gotta test it out, and I saw him like angry, like just trying to get to the what's that fireplace? He's like, where's the motion control? Or like, where's the voice chat? And when he finally was able to turn, he's like, oh my, that's what I was going for from the start. Ay 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 ay.
Oh, that's disgusting.
This game right now, it looks awesome. So we got a while to wait for it, but I'm like, I'm excited. I'm happy. Let's go. I'm
I
very
was
much
just
happy. They showed off more of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta. Again, that game
oh,
looks wow. Looks really good. So I'm excited. The
it's
Stellar
no
Blade. Oh my god!
it, it's
Stellar
Metal
Blade's getting
Gear.
the crossover with, of course, Goddess of Victory Nikke. And the costumes that we do see is Raffi, Scarlet, Dorothy, Miranda, Maria. I can't. Yeah, I can't remember the other girl's name, and then a few others. So Anise. So it's looking very cool. That's out in June for the DLC. So and there is a story content with that. So this will be interesting. I kind of hope it's a little better than the Nier Automata collaboration. Like, I mean, that was fine for a bit. Not that big on story content wise. I'm like, yeah, but hopefully this one she's shaping up to be good.
Mhm.
Also, in recent news announcement as well. Oh, you can take me off if you want to right now. You can. Nah. Another recent news announcement for the Goddess of Victory team. Shift Up has announced a second collaboration with Neon Genesis Evangelion. So this is the second collaboration. So I know very soon. We're just getting off of
The PC release can't get here enough because I am buying that shit. I
well,
am.
the Goddess of Victory. Well, this is for the Goddess of Victory. So this is for their web browser Android device title. So that is great.
Oh,
But if you do, but it's free to play. It's free to play. So and again, as I said, this is their second collaboration with them.
okay.
So I already got Asuka and Ms. Masato already. So I
I
need to get the other two.
all right. I will be okay with
Release
that.
again.
Yep.
It's also available on Windows. So it's on. So you can literally, if you're on the go, have your phone with you. But if you're at home, like I need something quick, easy to play, not the 100 hours or something really quick to fire up. This is actually pretty good to fire up for a while and have some fun. When I was unfortunately sick 2 years ago, that night was not very good for me. And being bedridden for about a good solid week, I needed something to play because I couldn't go downstairs. I'm like, I have my phone by me. I have this little app called Goddess of Victory, so let's finally make a dent to this thing. And yeah, here I am. 2 years later, I'm like, yeah, I'm made a big dent to that game, but I still got a long ways to go to get caught up to everybody else. Very fun to play. And it has a very good story, actually. Starts off as a good C story, but then it gets to a solid B too. At times, you could get to like a good A story. It's not just about that, oh, collect gotcha girls and then fight the war. No, there's actually surprising a lot of depth to these characters. See, this is people what we say. When you want to make a good story, you can start off simple enough, but we gotta dive into the characters. Like, who is this character? I mean, like he said, he points to my profile pic. You're like, I want to know this character. I want to know this
Exactly.
girl. It's like
Exactly. Because
that should be the
it's
first thing.
it's the question because remember we have a whole lot of we don't know what that game's going to be about in your profile pic. We
Definitely
have
heavy action. Looks very heavy action, platforming. A lot of cool bosses. Like like people will say this. Like a good character design will make you say, who is this character? Like look at Rem.
yes.
Obviously a maid,
Yes.
but you like the outfit. You're like the blue hair, the little pink, and everything. The made up. Like who is this character? I want to know this character.
I have
Bring
her
me
in
down to the
the
story. Like
I have her in the bunny in the rabbit one. I have her in the bunny where Ram is the wolf and everything,
oh
and
yes, yes.
I have the Rem version of that.
Okay,
I have to get
but
Ram. I have to get
but
Ram.
a good design will make you say, "What's that game?" or like, "What's this book? What's this?" You name it. People want to
Hey,
know
freedom,
who are these characters. You
outlaw,
start off with the
George.
design or like maybe some core concept, but like we look at that design, we're like, "Tell me about this character. Who is she?" to the main character, and then
or
you
or
add
or
on
or
from that. You know
or
about
or Nami, Nami from One Piece.
again. Nami starts off as the team navigator, and she doesn't get into a lot of fights and everything. In fact, she avoids a lot of the battles and everything. But as One Piece goes on, and when you find out, no wonder why she's a little snarky, a little sassy, is avoiding the team. What happened to her adopted mother during Arlong Park? You start to say, no wonder why she's like this. You actually feel bad for her. And even in her lowest moments for all the treasure she was collecting, it's like, yeah, Arlong knew all along, and he doesn't care. You're forever in debt to him, no matter what you do. That's a good character. That's a great story because you had time with the character, you build it up for a while, you reach to that point where it's like, I need to show you who this character is now. That isn't just a pretty face and everything. MGTOWN and everyone else will here will say that. Remember, fellas, sex does sell, but if there isn't that substance, isn't that connection, it just becomes numb after a while. Like someone can show me the greatest action film of all time, and I can go, okay, this is cool, but what's the story? Well,
Mm.
what's the story? Come on, this is some cool action, but what's the story? Again, I love Michael Bay for the love of God. I love his action, but sometimes after a while, you just say, Bay, just calm down, slow it down a bit, let it breathe. And sometimes he doesn't listen. But I always argue that both like 13 hours been his 13 hours based on the actual events that happened in that event. I actually had a military guy I used to work with back in Subway, and he did state that the action in that movie is kind of how close you would get to the actual events. Again, not completely close, but he said it's as close as you're gonna get it to be. He said even with some Hollywoodisms, he said that is close enough you're gonna get. I'm like, really? I'm like, really? I'm like, that's interesting to know a little bit. He said, obviously, yes, they didn't call an actual helicopter for that stuff because that would have taken too long to get there. But he did say, as close as you're going to get. I'm like, that is interesting to know. I'm like, that's interesting. Or one of my favorite films a couple years ago, his take on Ambulance was really, really good. Like, he knows how to make a really good, fun movie. When he cares a little bit, has a good screenplay. Even the action in that film, like, it still has the same Michael Bay, but it was really good to have a good, fun popcorn film that he made. I'm like, this is pretty good. And I still
Sure.
argue there's some good actions in Transformers. There's some really good action in these Transformers movies. Again, Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, that force fight, masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. And
And it actually
action,
it felt like a
storytelling,
transform. It felt like the show. It felt like the show in
felt
that
like the
scene.
show, like it was story driven. And
And I'm
at the
like,
end,
this is
the
how
good
you
guys
do
don't
it.
win, they lose. And you're like, whoa, that's cool.
And it's like, this is how you do it. That scene and everything is like, this is what we wanted from the get go. That's it. A complex story. I mean, I get the story is complex and everything, which you could still tell.
But it's little beats like that in the force when like even before you get to the force, we had the tension at the college. Megatron just got revived. And you're in a race against time between the Autobots and the Decepticons because the Decepticons have a head start against the Autobots, but there's only one of them, and of course it's the big guy, it's Prime. Could Optimus Prime beat everybody? Sure, but again, you got to thank the writers and directors for being smart. I'm like, he's not going to take down everybody. Megatron's one thing. You add a bunch more, building the tensions, and you build more with the Autobots are behind. They're coming, but they're racing. Now we're building a story. We're building character moments. These little beats help out a lot to say this is story in action form. I mean, Christopher Nolan's all about dialogue, but Michael Bay does tell a good story in action. So, gotta give him credit where it's due. You gotta give it what it's due, and I will, Bay. I will.
Hmm.
And I will, because everyone wants to know what's a good story. Like even this character, even though she's in her alternate outfit, you want to know who is this girl? She's pretty cool.
Oh,
Well, it's a sad backstory.
Groovy,
It is a sad
Groovy.
backstory actually, but it's pretty cool as well.
I
You
I
know
I
that
I have her and Graham as well. I have no wait. I'm sorry. I confused the two. I'm sorry. I
but
have
that's the end of the
Kurumi
day.
from
Like
Data Life.
yeah, current day life. Yeah, but that's the thing about characters. Like when you see a good design, you're like, what's this character? What are they about? You can have a good design, but a weak backstory and motivations. You can have a weak, you could have a great backstory and everything, but with a weaker design. But at the end of the day, it is about story. People, we want to know stuff, not just that. Oh, like you can give me a good show with cute girls do stuff, and I will take that maybe a good day of the week if I want to watch something cute or guys do stuff. Fine, but at the end of the day, everybody's worrying about the key factor. What's the story of this character? Like, what's the pitch, the elevator pitch? And so far, this character is getting a lot of good positive reception. Like the way she looks. She's voiced by the Shadowheart voice actors from Baldur's Gate 3 recently. So it's like, woo, woo. So this should be interesting. So hopefully, for the best of the team, I wish them the best of luck because you're gonna be the first game I get when it comes out. There's the release date for Hell is Us, so I'm very excited about that. I've been looking at that one for quite some time. Kind of like this sci-fi apocalypse horror, like we're in like the next stage and stuff, with some really cool enemy designs that they have no face, and it's just like a bunch of lines on them, like making this weird, trippy, psychedelic. Like if I look at that face, I'm staring at like I can't really describe it, but it looks really cool. Home Masquerade, the developers of Returnal, has announced their new project, Source, which we can actually pull up a little bit because they released the photos and everything. So let me just find that real quick.
By the way, Joker, I was just
What's up?
telling the audience before you came in where was I and everything. Monday night I came home. I really wasn't feeling good. Like I was not my best. and I literally collapsed. Like I just collapsed. Like
Oh,
I feel like Triple H just like where it's WrestleMania and Triple H takes a sledgehammer and hit me in the back. I was out. It was like that basically. That's why I didn't do the Jack and Daxter stream. I was so tired. Like I was tired. And then last night I passed out, woke up. I'm like, oh shit, Jedi Survivor. Fire it up, get everything going. And now come to find out, I played for an hour last night, and come to find out, it only recorded 6 minutes of the damn thing.
okay. So I have that same problem too. Sometimes you might have to delete a couple things to kind of like just mess with the whole. They'll want to share public, private, or public private. I've done that a couple times, and maybe test out the stream a little bit, and then like it is still uploading because I hate having that problem. I had that problem in the PS4, still had that problem in the PS5. Sometimes it is slightly waiting, like until those darn updates come, but it is something that we have to deal with. But here's a little bit of that new game that I was talking
Oh,
about. It
yes,
pops
yes.
up.
Hey,
So
let
this is from like
me.
this actually looks pretty darn cool actually because I'm like, damn, this looks awesome.
Eh,
Like, so this is by the guys who did Returnals, and it's another roguelike. But now
Oh,
we're like, whoa, what's this?
okay.
Like, you want to know
I'm
like what
ready.
this is all about, and I do too. And apparently, every time you die, of course, you're
It
reset
looks
it
like
back
set.
again.
It looks Hindu inspired with the multiple hands and everything. It does look like that.
And kind of
How
do look at when you're looking at the inner circle. I'm like, I'm just staring at that, but this is a great design. I'm like, I want to play this
oh,
game now.
this looks
I don't know what this
great.
is. It's another roguelike. You do see him holding a gun in one of the photos, but it just looks great, and you're wondering what's out there. This is what we want to know, people. This is what you sell the game. There's going to be gameplay later, but from a trailer standpoint, I'm like, I want to know more. And this is how you set a very good impression for people because it looks cool. Looks really cool.
Oh,
That's
I'm ready. That looks awesome.
Yeah, this is Tides of Annihilation. I mean, just look at this. These are just some
Oh,
screenshots.
Final
This looks
Fantasy
cool.
inspired.
Mhm. This is one of the bosses to show off. I'm like, this looks so cool.
Ooh,
Oh, was an actual. I think this was in gameplay for a little bit, but you're actually falling. I'm like, sweet. I
sorry,
think I
ladies
did.
and gentlemen. Screenshots are only the best one right now.
But these are pretty cool. These are pretty cool because I'm like, I want to play this so badly right now, but like, I gotta wait, and that's okay. That's okay. I can wait. Not that one. What else is done? Oh yes, here's the thing. If you
Ah,
want Days Gone 2, please support this, please,
I was about to
please.
talk about we were about to talk about this because I
So since we're
saw
here
this.
already, let's kind of like talk about a little bit. Is it another pointless remaster? Kind of. I think this one's more justifiable. Yes, it's another remaster of a game that's already available backwards compatibility. However, unlike what Sony did to Horizon, where they try to make it that, oh, you can't buy the original copy no more, you have to buy the new one, versus Ghost of Tsushima, if you already have the copy, you can get the free upgrade, or it's $10. This one, they're at least still giving you the option to buy the original with to get the $10 upgrade, or you could, like me, because I don't have the original, have to find it somewhere. So to me, this is like an easy steal for me. Like I can get by the remaster. I'll show my love and support. But I think this is gonna be cool. Like there's like a whole new horde smell and everything. So there's a free upgrade. So thank you, Sony, for doing this. But like show some love for like Days Gone. Like I think this is the title that really needs some love. And the thing is about this, you have to remember what Ben Studio was also attempting to work on at one point was another live service IP. So to me, this is really showing Sony, we want a Days Gone 2. Please make single player games. Don't make live service. Show the love for a single player. Like it's not that far away. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
too far away.
Single player really kicked off with the PlayStation because we had Crash Bandicoot, we had Final Fantasy, we had Tomb Raider, we had Resident Evil, Silent Hill, we had Parappa the Rappa, we had Pac-Man of Pac-Man World, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. We had also we also had Metal Gear. So it's a solid road and everything. And then they started doing like Crash Team Racing, and everything, the multiplayer games and all that. So in essence, go back to what worked. Not state of play. The Game Awards, we still praise it because it was done right. We got a platformer, a family game, all in one, and single player. Actually, those three things all in one as Game of the Year. That's a dramatic
That was a
change.
good shakeup. That was a good.
That was a
shakeup.
dramatic
Like,
change we really needed for that. What way to what way to end on the 10-year anniversary. See, this is how you do anniversaries, ladies and gentlemen. Do something that makes it worthwhile. And it did. And I have a feeling that it's going to get better and better and better and better. This is a good step in the right direction because they're like, no, we're not going to do this live service game. I don't care if we have to do the remaster. I don't care. Let's make this work.
you can still buy the original Days Gone. You just have to find it somewhere. Could be still be available on Amazon, maybe some Walmart has some copies lying around, but you can still buy it. And like I said, you can do the hold on, let me get back here. If you have the original and want that sweet PS5, come on, where's stop? There we go. You can upgrade from the PS4 version for $10. So that is a safe deal, actually. That's a pretty safe deal. You already have the game. You want that PS5 upgrade? Just put in your disc in, go through the PS5 upgrade. Boom. There you
Oh,
go.
I hated that. I hated that brute right there. I hated those fuckers. Oh, I hated them.
How far did I get in this game? I don't think I was
I actually
that
beat
far
it.
away.
I actually beat it. And
So
that ending, oh my god, I was ready for more. I'm like, give me more, goddammit. Take my money.
so now I know where like some of the complaints are coming from, like, oh, Days Gone got a remastered, Horizon got a remastered, and so on and so forth. Before,
Justified remaster for Days Gone.
I think this one is still justified, but I think a lot of people, like, this is why I want to say is that who's trying to hype up, the God of War Greece saga. I would love to go back to Greece. I would love to get those remaster games very much, since God of War 3 was remastered for the PS4. I still think that is justifiable. Looks even better on the PS4 than the PS3. And I would like to say, yeah, we don't need the Norse trilogy getting any more stuff, duology. We don't need to go to ancient Egypt. If you want to do another God of War game, don't. Just give us the Greece saga. And I think Greece would be great on the PS4 because you could play the original, 2. You get 3 that's already included. You get the PSP titles and then Ascension. I think those would fit wonderfully here. Wonderful. So, I think that is justifiable. Maybe they're working on it. Maybe they're not. I don't know. And, of course, Bloodborne. That is an IP I think we can safely say may not come back. Because even though, yes, it is owned by Sony, look how long it took to get Demon's Souls. Just remember, look how long it took to get Demon's Souls. We didn't get on the PS4. We got on the PS5 as a launch title, which was justifiable because I think Blue Point Games did a fantastic job on that. But at the same time, you got to remember what Sony's state of mind was for the last few years. Live service, or making these live service games that took way too long, and now they're facing the repercussions. I still think there are some great single player games out there that should get some love and recognition that are on the PS5, whether they be from the main studios or some smaller guys that got some
I love it.
exclusive.
I'm glad we got the Oddworld Abe's Odyssey remastered for with new and tasty, and then we got Soulstorm, which is a retelling of Abe's Exodus. So I was pretty happy. I have yet to beat that game. I have yet to get back in there and beat that game because I got far, but I might have to start over though. Hey Callie, but I'm pretty excited for what's coming up though. Kazan looked phenomenal. I'm ready.
Yeah, there's
Give
of course the
me.
new Unimusha game that's not coming out till 2026, which I can pull it up a little bit here because this just looks like this is what we want, folks. Like this is what I want completely. Because I think this is what you're going to be very excited for, and what I know you're going to be streaming the next few. Come on, Susan. Come on, Susan. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let me fix that quickly. There we go. That should. Oh my god, really? Wait. Oh my god, that's terrible. Alright. Okay, I'm not gonna show it, but there's a new Onimusha game that's in the works, 2026, but also we got some the remastering 2 right now, so that's great. So be excited for that. And
She's
in fact, the
beautiful.
voice actor for the third game said, if Capcom does the third game, I wouldn't mind coming back. So hey, that's how you know it's still alive and people want more. So that's great. And other stuff are some like updates to some other stuff that we have already known. But I think this is going to be great. I think if this one allows me to do it, this is one that I think I'm going to be excited for a lot. If it does show it. Come on, show it. There. Come on, show it. Come on. Come on. God damn it. Come on.
We apologize.
There's like, it's called like a midnight walk. I'll link it later, but it looks really cool with all the stop motion stuff. So very Tim Burton-esque, reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street. So this looks cool. This looks awesome. So
the Midnight Walkers.
yes,
that one.
Yeah, that one looks really cool. Put in private chat. See if you can get the screen share working because for some reason it's not working on my end. But that looks cool. I'm like, damn, that looks awesome.
Let me see if I can. Pull it up. Okay, I think I have it. Joker. Is this it?
Oh yes, is that
Dude? This looks good. Oh,
okay, not that one, but that does look cool. So I put in the private chat. So
oh, oopsie. Okay,
I think that's the one I'm looking for. So Midnight Walk.
Oh, oh crap! I got.
See, now we're like,
yes,
yeah,
I see. I see your.
But the other one looks like interesting as well. I'm like, okay, I'll check that one out. But this is the one to me that looks very interesting because it's like,
oh, it is
very
Tim
Burton-esque, Grim Fandango-esque. So, and even when they announced it, they had their little puppets. I always think that's cool when you show off like the characters in a different way. So this looks really cool. I'm like, damn. You can only imagine the love and craft that goes into this stuff. Again, if you can't get in the AAA, we'll tell you go support the independent people. This is where
I
fresh
would probably
creative
play.
ideas come from, and this looks really cool. Like
This is like a
it
love
looks like I'm
letter.
about to watch a movie. Like I was like, that's a cool title card. Like I want to watch this movie, but it's a video game, even better.
I could definitely see the love for Tim Burton and all of this and everything. I could definitely see it. This is a love letter. Like, what if we just made a game in the world of Tim Burton without it taking place in a night with in a popular IP? See, this is how you do it. Like, it's a love letter. It's inspired. It's made by fans of it. Then and this is done right.
I
It's
mean,
done right.
you can
It
see
does
like
not. It.
multiple
You don't need
influences.
Jack
Like,
Skellington. You don't need Jack Skellington in there. You don't need Corpse Bride. You don't need Edward Scissorhands. None of it. None of the IP is under Tim Burton. Just make it like this with new characters, a new setting. It's there, and I'm actually I'm legitimately excited
I mean, it's
because
very
this.
Tim Burton esque. I'm definitely gonna see a lot of Grim Fandango designs in there, like the golden age of Lucas Arts. A little bit of Coraline. Kind of
Yeah,
element like
because
like I
it's
I think it's all there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they say yes, we were inspired by all this stuff, but like, damn, like this is really cool to see. But like I want to play this, and like I want to support them. And hey, free promotion companies, free promotion right here. There you go.
yeah.
Shameless plug, but we don't care. This looks awesome. Like really
Yeah,
cool.
we're trying to raise awareness for the games, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to
Like we said,
raise.
both positives and the negatives. And it's nice that we're chattering here and be like, look at this. This looks so cool. Like I want to go play it immediately.
Exactly, and I'm just gonna repost that. That way, I have it. Um, this
Oh, let's take
looks
one.
good.
It looks really cool.
Uh,
We gotta check the Crytek stuff. Oh, that is not looking good.
uh-oh. Oh,
Crytek, I think developers of the Crisis series, Rise, Son of Rome, and several others, the OG developers for Far Cry, because before they got the
oh
license from
no.
them from Ubisoft. This is not only inevitable, but they really don't make too many games, sadly, which is both the positive and the negative. The positive is at least they're focused on a few IPs, but this does not look good for Crytek at all. Take it away.
Like so many of our peers, we aren't immune to the complex, unfavorable market dynamics that have hit our industry these past several years. It pains us greatly to share that we must lay off an estimated 15% of our around 400 employees. The layoffs affected development teams and shared services. This has not been an easy decision to make as we are deeply appreciate the hard work of our talented teams. After putting the development of the next Crisis game on hold in Q3 2024, we have been trying to shift developers over to Showdown 1896. While Hunt Showdown 1896 is still growing, Crytek cannot continue as before and remains financially sustainable even after ongoing efforts to reduce costs and cut operating expenses. We have determined that layoffs are inevitable to move forward. Crytek will offer affected employees severance packages and career assistance services. We firmly believe in the future of Crytek with Hunt Showdown 1896. We have a very strong gaming service and remain fully committed to its operation. We will continue to expand and evolve Hunt Showdown 1896 with great content and drive our strategy for our engine, CryEngine. Uh,
It's
and this right here because Hunt is no Fortnite, but it's
Unfortunately,
it's a big conundrum because Crytek made really good Crisis games. They made good Crisis games, but unfortunately, you only have 400 employees, and with everything that's happening in the gaming world, the layoffs, the constant attacking of the fans, and the
not
constant
to mention how long I kind of stated this a little bit to my friends earlier. It does sound sad, harsh, but the reality is making games is not as easy
as it looks.
as it looks. Sure, you talk about like we can talk about praises like how a lot of games look these days, but the veterans would tell you that well, that's because you probably had someone that had a good sense, a strong direction in any different departments from lighting, fidelity, maybe where a cinematography, like all this stuff that goes behind the scenes. That's the reason why a lot of games from back in the day can look as good as now as they ever have been. But the sad thing is that takes a lot of time, money, and just to create that stuff.
And
Like we're
also
hearing stories of games taking 4 to 5 years now, if not more, to make. Like look at Dragon Age Veilguard. Look how long that came out, and it was
a
well
mediocre
as regarded it was.
mess.
It was crap. It was very much crappy. There was sayings back in the day. If you had a strong PC, people would say, "But can it run Crisis?" Like remember that old saying, "Can it run Crisis?"
Yeah.
You could try it, but some PCs were not up to par what they were even doing at the time. Like seeing a day-night cycle on a PC back in that time was like mind blowing to like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Or with the fidelity, like the forests and stuff, like that's pretty cool actually. Or how the water looked, or even Battlefield 3, like where you're in the jet and see just how the ocean's waves were moving. Sure, you could say it's a cutscene, but like that looks better than most stuff that's coming out these days. It's not easy to make stuff. I've heard developers from like a developer from Volition who was interviewed that even why Agents of Mayhem didn't do quite as well. Part of that is the marketing. Part of that is just understanding is this a Saints Row game or is it the evolution of Saints Row? Like it's one thing, but he once mentioned. I'm paraphrasing the guy, so don't directly quote me on him. He said like games are expensive. Engines are expensive, especially
Oh,
if they're
oh,
your
trying to
own
learn.
house engine. Granted, the universal game engines we see today use are like the Unity engine, Unreal, but those can have developers and tech teams working on those engines nonstop. Definitely, they'll be modified if you get your hands on it just to modify the engine, but creating your own in-game house engine that's going to require you to have all the fancy words of like the physics engine or lighting and stuff. Try making that from scratch. I'm no tech wizard, but even I would say, okay, that's going to take a lot of manpower, a lot of money is going to have to be poured into this engine, and you need to have one game even to be made. I'm just thinking if I was the higher ups, I'm going, well, this better be worth it. We're going to sink a lot of money into it. I know the Cry engine can be licensed, but how many people are really using the Cry engine? That's one thing. Compared to stuff that's like Unreal, which is used in, and even Unity is used in movies. Yep, both the Unity and Unreal, they're used in movies, which is kind of cool to think about, actually. That's pretty cool. But that's the reality of game development. It's not easy. You could say, but we were pumping games out left and right, like in the fifth and sixth. I think just those were just different times, my friends. Nowadays, with
Hmm.
all this technology, it's rising. The tech's gotten better, but
But
Also, we see a lot more bugs and problems, and if these engines in games are not optimized correctly, I get a game with 150 gigabyte download and go, oh Lord, I need to delete some space.
mm-hmm.
Or you have the
And
new Call of Duty taking up 300 gigs. I need to see what the next game's going to be like.
I
I'm calling it now.
know,
Is it going to be
and
400 or close to 400 probably?
this poor and ladies and gentlemen, this poor PC, this poor thing, won't be able to handle that.
I'm glad my game PC at the moment it can handle Sekiro very well without stuttering. So that's a cool. That's very much a good thing.
I
Sure,
mean,
it's
off stream, my stuff works. My stuff works fine off stream, like and everything. It does run pretty good. It ran Jazz Survivor really good. I had no stutters or anything. Or I only had that one crash, that one really rare crash, but it looks like it's been fixed. So that was a one-off thing. What worries me is these coming games and how it's going to be. I have a lot to do.
like the graphics cards are one thing. Do you have enough RAM? Like CPU? Like it's like I do meet the requirements for most of them for seeing the RAM with the CPU, but then I look at the graphics card. I'm like, I need to update my graphics card because it's. But I'm still to play most of the games that come out if the recommendations are there. But if I barely just need it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait a bit longer. But that's just how we live on the consumer side of things. But on the development side of things are rushed out the door. Things don't get quite optimized. And like the Larian CEO said, it's the developers who get blamed for it. The higher ups don't get blamed at all. You got to remember that. You have to remember that. Again, look at Callisto Protocol when that launched on the PC. That was a nightmare.
I know. I watched it collapse when I was looking and everything, and the negative reviews came. I refreshed it one time, and there's like,
You got negative reviews.
and it's like, how many pages? It was Joker that night when it happened, when it came out, and then after about a day or two, there was probably not even 17 pages worth.
Wow.
That's embarrassing. It's probably longer now. Like by now, it's probably in the 300s,
If not, well,
if not more.
exaggeration, but even Glenn, the producer of that game and the producer of Dead Space, he did state in an interview that's like he was fighting for those months that they needed time to make the Callisto Protocol a bit more polished, runs a bit better. But then, the higher ups comes in, it's like, no, we need to set out on this date. And it's like, then we need everybody on board then. If you're rushing us that badly, it needs to be those extra 3 months. And it's like, that's just like again, it goes back to what the Larian guy CEO keeps saying. This industry is not what it once was. You may
We need to
say
get
it's a
rid
great
of.
time to be a gamer, but it sadly is a curse. It's that never-ending loop. Game comes out, praises, or gets, you know, takes the beating by the industry. Broken, unpromised games. Who gets blamed? The developers get blamed. I'm sure a
Which
lot of them
which
can be nice people or are passionate about
which
gaming, but it's
which
those
keep in
darn higher
mind,
ups that control the power.
ladies and gentlemen, we feel bad for the developers. We do. Everybody in our group and some of the people we associate with, they will tell you they feel bad for the actual people who are at least trying to make an effort into helping make a good game. Unfortunately, though, just like the fast food cashier, they get the brunt of everything. Even though we have literally even though they have literally no control over the prices and all that and everything, they get the criticism. But hopefully, if things do improve and everything, we do get more and more people in, because we need more people at the top who have a clear understanding of how a game is supposed to be and the time it takes to get it done. These people are too afraid to take risk, and it's those risks that brought us Crash Bandicoot, that brought us Spyro, that brought us Jack and Daxter, that brought us Banjo Kazooie, GoldenEye, all
Sly,
Sly
Hi-Fi
Cooper.
Rush,
Yes,
people who
and
took the gamble on the Witcher series. Like you name the game out there, somebody took the risk to be like, I will get this made.
like they
Like the
kicked that
famous
damn
quote
door,
from
damn
Studio
door
Gainax
open.
for Hideaki Anno for his friend. If you pitch it, I'll make sure it gets made. That's how we got Neon Genesis Evangelion. His friend, his co-worker at the time, because Gainax was struggling, it's like, you pitch it, I will fight to get it made for you. That's how we got Evangelion. Just
Yeah, and how we got Ghost in the Shell, and how we got all these wonderful animes that we have, and the movies and everything. Imagine how hard it was to get Disney and Warner Brothers to agree on Roger Rabbit. Imagine how hard that was
they
at
said
that
it was
at
hard because it was a lot of yes and no's, a lot of no's. But that big agreement was, I kind of settled the dust. Is that okay? Our characters have to share the same screen time. So that was kind of like the big thing to
and
finalize. And it's like, okay,
when you watch it, it actually worked. 'Cause they played off each other well, like Daffy Duck and,
Porky the
Donald
Pig.
Duck. That they played it off good, and it's like,
Does
I
anybody
want
know what
more.
this duck is saying?
It's like, and it makes you want more. Like, you could see a movie with those characters in it. It doesn't have to be Roger Rabbit, you could just have them right there, and you have a movie that's worth something. It's a collaboration that worked, and it's like, why haven't we got more of this? Because it worked. The collaboration worked. Donald and Daffy got the same screen time. They managed to do their back and forth, the crescendos, and Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse, two big powerhouse icons of a generation, side by side on the same screen, making jokes with
Technically
each other.
speaking, too, yes, if you slow the movie down a bit, Mickey comes in just a few frames before Bugs. So, just gotta one up them still.
Yeah, but with that one up aside, we'll wave that aside for a moment and still
I mean,
appreciate the scene.
stuff like that is never gonna happen again. Well, until they're in public domain, that is. You can do the OG Steamboat Willie, and eventually Bugs Bunny will get in there. So you can get your collaboration soon, folks. We just might be gone by that point.
Yeah, because with the way Warner Bros. Is right now, the state of both, I don't see it. I don't. And that's what's so and that's what hurts, because I'd rather have the truth hurt me than the lie. I'd rather have it hurt me, because we got one powerhouse movie with all those characters, and we never got more of like that ever again. We never got that again. Two two icons of respected brands in the same room all together at once. That's like that's like the invasion. Now that's like the invasion with WCW and WWF and ECW. Yes, it was a bit rushed here and there, but to see all those guys in that locker room, you would never, if people told you that, oh, WCW and ECW are going to share the same room as the WWF, they would laugh at you. They would laugh at you. They would laugh at you, call you a joke, and probably hit you with a steel chair for good measure. That's how it was back in the day, folks. Or what's another one? What's the one? Or Multiverse. Shaggy beating up Wonder Woman. You've never
Sadly,
seen,
Multiverse is shutting down, and
which is so sad. I like that game. I liked it.
because it started off like Multiverse did start off good on the promise, but then despite the early access stuff, was like, all right, it's early access, we can do it. But then they kind of took it away for a while, and then the launch happened, like Shadow dropped, like, oh, it's officially launched. Here we go. A game that once was good to get by was sadly tarnished. It was more slower. It was unbalanced. It wasn't fair with the progression system. Even for the seasons, just to unlock stuff, you really had to be precise on logging in to get what you want. And then suddenly the last patch update fixes the game completely. Like, now it was faster. Now it was a competitor. It's like, it took to the last patch when they are destroying the game. I know, it's like, so now that your fans are happy, and I think it should have just stayed in early access. Like I still remember when No Man's Sky came out with all that broken promises, or the overhype of broken promises was not very kind to the people at Hello Games. And I'm sure to this day they are very much a nice, wonderful development team. But they took the biggest beating in gaming history at that time from a game that had like the promises here, but we're missing a lot of stuff. We're missing what was promised in some of the trailers, some of the interviews, and what was eventually came out. And now when you look at No Man's Skies all these years later, it's like, you know what? This is a better game, a far better game that we give it credit for. Next year
And
will be
seeing
the
that
10-year
photo,
anniversary, but 9 years later, No Man's Sky is an impressive game that even some AAA games don't even get to these days. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Still not perfect, but I'd be nitpicking at that point.
um, speaking of movies and everything, Joker,
Oh,
you
please don't tell me it's How to Train Your Dragon. Please don't
no
tell me.
no no you're gonna jump for joy for this one. Disney reportedly scrapping reimagined Tomorrow DEI initiative, revising Disney Plus content warnings following re-election of Donald Trump. This is long over fucking due. I am so fucking tired of like trying to watch Casino and see that damn content thing. It's like, we know it was made back then in the 80s. You clowns. We had no need for it. Cause how how often this is a huge step of Disney going, okay, because they can't weasel their way out of it. They can't.
Considering that even some companies are not even doing Pride Month, let's face it. You know what Pride Month was for these companies? Get their little, no offense for those who do actually celebrate Pride Month, the correct way, not what it's become. What it used to stand for, not what it's
What it's
become. Like we said, you'll see companies change their logos for Pride Month, and then you look at the Middle East account, and it's like, one of these things is not like the other. What's going on? It showed the true colors. It's like Asmongold said. Again, you don't have to agree with Asmongold, but he was right about this with Spider-Man when Marvel Spider-Man 2 came out. When Insomniac Games and their writers, they decided to change my culture's language, how we speak. I am Spanish. I am from Guatemala. And it's like you had all these gender neutral language in the game. It's like, and that Twitch streamer Rubius is just like, okay, that's weird, and it happens again, and he shuts off the game. And what does Asmongold say? I feel sorry for you on behalf of yada yada yada. I feel sorry. And Asmongold said the smartest thing. He said, guess what? These companies, they don't care for you. They don't care. It's it's the companies, they're just marketing towards people who don't want the game. Companies market to people who may not be buying the game because they had to change it to put the content in there. Why would you do that? Shouldn't your goal as a company, as a team, to make a fun game? And people say, well, they had to change it. No, they didn't. Again, look at Final Fantasy 16. There is a gay character in the game. There is. There's a gay character in Final Fantasy 16 in a dark fantasy medieval setting. And guess what? No one cared about the gay character. In fact, people like that character. There's a lot of fan art of him. And he's with you through like half of the game as well, when you unlock his chapter and get to those points of the game. So there's that. But at the same time, you know what Final Fantasy said to not shipping the game to the Middle East? They didn't have to ship the game to the Middle East. Why? Because Square said, we trust the product in the end. We trust the consumers. We don't have to ship it to the Middle East. Yet Insomniac Games decided to be like, we'll change the Spanish language to fit what's appropriate these days. And you had Spanish streamers going, nope, sorry, I'm not doing this. That should say a lot.
Yeah,
It
it
should say a
should.
lot. It'd be like, no, they had to. Like, no, they didn't. They made the choice to do it. They made the choice. And one other choice Insomniac Game made, if you buy the game over there, they remove all that content. All the flags, they remove all the flags to the appropriate flags. They remove gay characters, remove gay dialogue. Doesn't that say something? And something like, yeah, we're for you, but just not over here. Sorry, we'll fix it.
Yeah, and also don't forget entrance in dot hack roots in GU. He was he was gay.
Again, did we
Fatal will
mind him in game? Absolutely not.
Fatal will tell you. Fatal will tell you straight up. Because remember, you could do the event. You could do that marriage event with him as well.
Oh yeah,
As well.
Haseo is the same as well. You could do gay events with Haseo, but those were with
But guess what? We never
the
bitched
marriage.
about
You
it.
get
We
their
never bitched
romance
about it
option
because
all the way up. But again, it was a choice. It's a choice.
and
It's a
it was
choice.
I was pressured to do each and every one of those when I was streaming that game a while back. And I got to admit, it was actually a lot of fun. Even the one scenes and everything, it's like it was funny. It made sense. It in a way, it didn't feel forced. It was funny, and for a really wicked odd reason, it flowed. That's what's missing nowadays. Is the flow of things. That's what's
Let it
missing.
happen naturally.
That
It's called let it happen naturally. Let the story come to them.
yeah, and
Without a good
I
romance.
enjoyed it. I
Don't
was
force
like
it.
happy. I was happy with how that came out with the two guys and everything, then with Haseo and all that. I'm like, you know what? This gets my approval. I'm happy. I don't feel creeped out or anything, and I'm like, I could get used to this. Because as Joker said, it came naturally. And that's what we all ask. If you're gonna do a gay character, gay relationships and all that, make it natural, make it fun. Let the audience appreciate and enjoy it without forced interfaces from square one. Because that's why everybody gets so pissed off, is because it's forced in our faces when it doesn't need to be. If it's there, it's there. Just let it be there. Let it be its thing, and we'll get to it if we want to. And that's the end of it. It doesn't have to be the central focus of everything. It doesn't. I want to know what that I want to know what that female is doing. I want to know what that dragon rider's doing up there and how he got his dragon. It's these types of questions, ladies and gentlemen, that we gamers, anime fans, manga collectors, what have you, always ask the important questions. You want to sell me this Twix bar right here. Sell me this Twix bar.
It's the simple
Why
sell me this pen from the Wolf of Wall Street. Like, you gotta give us the selling point. What's the selling point? And
and
if
we
there
will
is
not
no
let this
selling
go.
point, then we have no interest. And again, I'm sure Miles is a fine
Yes,
character. He has good writers,
I have nothing wrong
but
with
in a
I have nothing against
but it's
Miles. I
always
have
as our good friend Bubba would say, the writers sometimes are forced or like, okay, now we really got to make him a good story. Hence the successful animation movies, or when he was on Ultimate Spider-Man for that crossover episode, or the multiverse
he
episode. I can't
was
remember what it
being
was.
Miles.
It
He
was
was
in
being
Miles
Miles.
being Miles, and he's interacting with a version of Peter Parker that he didn't have the chance to. So it got you some interesting dynamic with that episode way before Spider Verse ever happened. So that's always in the important thing. You gotta write the characters good. And I think this is part of also is just the world healing because again, Disney, you don't need to be doing this stuff. Again, can Disney have some characters who are, LGBT? Yes. And I think like heck, even like off the topic, Sesame Street had introduced not too long ago one of their first disabled characters for the Muppets. That's huge. That's
That
awesome.
is that's huge. And it was and the reason why it was so huge and why it was widely successful, it's not pandering because I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, they bent the knee." No, they haven't.
No, they did not bend the knee. And
They introduced the character. It's a brand new character. The character explains why they were this way and everything. And that was it. Two simple steps that captivated us like crazy. And I appreciate that.
and and to me, it's also Sesame Streets, and they have always told some really good stories over there, going so many multiple decades later. They're still standing strong, and they're still introducing kids topics that are smart and mature enough that it's not insulting to them. Heck, remember, Big Bird always had his imaginary friend that no one saw for years. The funny that was also a great episode with Mr. Rogers with Big Bird until they decided to make the puppet for real, and every adult on that show was like, and Big Bird was like, I told you he was real. I mean, you also know why they did it. It was for that imaginary friend that kids always have. So they decided, like, let's make him real. Let's make him real. And I felt like that's so cute that they actually did it. They made him real, make him feel more believable.
And and that's how and that's how it's supposed to and that's all we really ask, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we really ask. Because we will gladly praise your show and everything. Sesame Street knew this. They had a brand new character, disabled, and overall, it was a lot of fun to watch. And Joker's right, that is huge in the right way. It's done the right way, which is what we really all need. We want to give these people a chance. We want to give that character a chance to explain themselves and listen. And the puppet did just that. It did just that without reading from a stupid ass script by these DA initiatives. It was done in a way where you understand how the puppet feels and everything, and explains the reason why they're in the wheelchair, and you're captivated because it's like you feel so bad, but it's also reality in of itself because we do have friends, we do have loved ones who are in those types of situations in real life, and we understand. And it's the beauty of storytelling while tying real world knowledge into it, into that puppet. No one's being represented by one class. It's everybody that can sympathize because they have somebody who is like that. The message is simple and it was done perfectly. That's it. This is what we the audience wanted. A simple, cohesive story with a brand new character that caught our attention. They introduced Joker. They introduced us to the Muppet, right? They introduced us to character. They sold us on. They sold us on that character in the right way, with a great backstory and the reasons. And it was a fun character to watch. I know it sounds silly, like to many other normal adults, it sounds silly that we're praising a kids show and everything, but let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, we grew up on those shows, so seeing that happen, it would make us happy too, because we actually appreciate other walks of form of life, not just one group. And I feel like that is how you're supposed to do it. And I feel like Sesame Street just won the entire world with that episode. I'm genuinely excited for that character to grow and everything. I'm genuinely excited and see where that goes. I'm not worried. The presentation was good, and I'm like, go for it. And this is why we need more stuff like this in our world to talk positively about this. Because Joker, damn it, me, Joker, California, Bubba, Eagle Rider, anybody of our friends and adversaries can all agree we need proper storytelling in our entertainment with characters that we could cheer, boo, and everything. And that we could praise them and then we could criticize. If it was just negative stuff, me and Joker would be trashing on the whole thing in negative lights. And that's not good. We can't be negative all the time. We have to have a balance to it. We can be positive in our criticism. And it's not because we hate the product. It's not because of that. It's just you had a chance to do better. And unfortunately, you threw that pie in our face one last time, and that's why we walked away. We gave a chance. We gave the benefit of the doubt, and then they smack us. And then they turn around and try something else, and we're like, okay. What about this? And then done again. It's really sad that we have to go through this. But with Ubisoft on the brink, Disney and stuff like this right here, this is healing right here in our entertainment. It's the best step in the right direction going forward. It's not messing because there was nothing wrong with the stuff to begin with. It was movies and shows that we grew up with back then. We are well aware they're raunchy and all that and have crude jokes and the like and stereotypes. We didn't give a damn. We enjoyed it. We actually enjoyed it because it was humorous. No matter who it was, whether it be Chris Farley falling through a table or Michael Jackson and Martin Lawrence get into a fist fight, a hilarious one at that. We enjoy it regardless who is involved because it's entertainment and we get a good laugh of it, and we're on our way. And that's it. They done their job. We done our job. We're all happy. We went home satisfied. Same thing with movies and video games. Joker and I can tell you, of all the games we play, why we go back to the old games and why we go to other avenues rather than the big leagues. To give these people a proper chance. Like, hey, we saw your game. We want to try it and we want to have fun. Like, give me a second here. Give me a second. Like, Onimusha 2. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited for this. Because it's such
I'm excited because I've watched the anime. I think the anime is a decent adaptation. I don't think it truly adapts any of the games, but they're definitely one like if I had, I would have seen some reference here or there. You know, even like the main guy's face is obviously, of course, uh, by the great Mifune. God, that guy's a legend. So I'm like, it does feel like if it was a story for one of the games, I probably would play it. It was like, it had some cool action here and there, and I'm like, it was pretty good for the most part. But since Unamushi's coming back and there's a brand spanking new HD game coming, I might as well play the old school games now, just to see what was the experience like. So I am excited for this, very much am.
I'm pretty excited too because we need more of this. We need more. Because we got Days Gone coming back. Liza P DLC coming.
Pie, Pinocchio, pie.
Pie.
Like,
Okay.
this is
I see.
blow up.
Oh, it is.
Like, this is a glow up from what the game used to be. Like, it's a DLC, but it's very much like it's like there's snow now, a snow and like I mean in Code Vein there was a snow level, but like there's snow now. Like we're more like in a winter time now, like a winter theme event. So I'm like,
And
it looks really
who's
cool.
the
And
guy?
whatever they show in the screenshots, kind of scroll down a bit, see if you see a screenshot. Nope, can't for
Oh,
the trailer.
but let's take a moment to appreciate though.
That there's
I'm not going to
DLC.
Yeah. And look at the glow up. You're right, Joker. Look at that glow up. I'm interested in this. I want to see how this goes.
I mean, I
And
have played the demo of Lies of Pi, and I'm like, I can't wait for the full game to come out. Haven't quite played the full game. I need to find my copy, but this is really cool, especially for those who you like this stuff. You want to see the new stuff. I mean, like this is the like way to go because I think a lot of it's like really. I mean, Lost Souls aside, after so many
oh yeah,
years,
let's talk about this.
like I remember this game like when it was still a one development guy. You see some of the stuff like this looks really cool, but after everything is coming out in May, I'm happy for this developer. So happy.
I'm really happy. Ulti Ze-
I
Ulti
think Devil
Zero
May
game.
Cry meets Final Fantasy, and that guy was actually a big, like really inspired by Final Fantasy 15. Like both Noctis and the main
Oh,
character have the same
this looks
fashion
good.
and the same
I
build
l-
fashion.
oh this looks good. I wish I could play the trailer, ladies and gentlemen. I really
But we will
wish.
get copyright immediately. But it's
Which
it's an action game.
sucks.
Like I have no idea who this is. Is this like this is a new
Yeah,
character?
this is who I want to. This is what I want to know. Look at the elegance, the mystery. Who is she? Like the character you showed me earlier. the one you were telling me about.
Oh yes.
Same situation. Very same situation. We don't know who she is, and we're intrigued. We're like, oh, tell us who you are. You're pretty. I'm glad we're seeing beautiful characters coming back. We're seeing the shift again. And this is how it's supposed to be. You have the elegance, you have the mystery. I'm already interested. Not because she's pretty, but the mystery behind her. Who does she work for? Is she part of any clans? What's her motives? These questions, and me and Joker are gonna harp on this, but it bears repeating because we want to make that known, like keep that whole thing going, because we want gamers to actually start questioning these, and we'll get the answers. I'm
I
ready
mean,
for
even
May.
like for the
I'm
trailer
ready
that I
for
saw,
May.
there's a lot of variety in these locations. Again, very much Devil May Cry, like probably like early like DMC one, like or even like DMC three levels of inspired, definitely heavily inspired and influenced by the Final Fantasy series. But like these like locations, like you're not ready for these set designs, these locations, the action pieces that happen here. This looks like really to be a fun action game, an intriguing story. Like even like scroll down to like our little dragon that's on the bottom. Like this is supposed to be like if you scroll down, this is like kind of like our main attack or the guide, like all the way down, like to like just like all the way down to like when you see
Oh,
like
him.
okay, so right there, perfect. Like even this thing right here, the gold dragon and everything, like this is like our companion slash. Correct me if I'm wrong. If someone knows this, I think this is like the antagonist. So you kind of have like an Azura's Wrath type situation again. But this is going to be interesting because he's definitely important. He's got the gold, and dragons are kind of both good and evil in Chinese mythology. But this will be interesting and how he's going to play out because you typically don't hear a lot from him, but now he's talking a bit more often. So I'm like, this will be interesting. And it took multiple years, went from a sole developer to having the backings of a company. So this will be interesting for a guy like me who's been following the development process. So I'm full blown excited for this game so much. Like, whew. I mean, that's why we like to make people's dreams come true, folks. We like to make them come true, and now it's that reality is very close. The long wait is going to be over in May, and whew,
But this is gonna be. I'm pretty excited for May because we have a lot going. We have a lot going on for May. Um,
oh, talk about this Virgin Punk, because I'm like, what is this? Now,
which
if you're
one?
kind of wondering, like, is this the one where, like,
Oh,
it's supposed to be a new anime film series,
oh, I'm
and like the
liking this.
trailer has a nice fan service moment. I'm like, wait, what is this?
Mhm.
So Animation Studio Shaft has revealed a new premiere date for Virgin Punk, the brand new and original film series headed by acclaimed director uh, Yasubi. I can't pronounce that. So, director from Kite and Misa Forte. So I'm like, ooh, we got a cool director here. I know Kite. I like that a lot. The first story of film in the film series
Oh,
titled Clockwork Girl set to premiere. So again, we got a little ways to go, but this looks interesting. Like, what is their Virgin Punk even all about?
I think we're gonna get. Let's see. The first
Got a little bit of
film,
description here, so we can read a little bit.
the first film follows the first female protagonist, Ubu, a girl who chooses to become a bounty hunter though it showcases her suffering and both the desires and chaos that unfold from the strong characters that surround her. Okay, so we have the name of the character, what she's doing, and we're about to see the chaotic story that she's about to go through. I'm sold. How about you, Joker? I'm sold.
I'm sold for a little bit. Okay, that was
And it's by the same director from Kite and Mezzo Forte, so it's gonna be good.
gonna be
So
good. I'm watching the trailer right now with the
it's from
sound
a
off. I'm
trusted
like,
director. It's a trusted director who's doing it. And I'm like,
okay, so got a little. Okay, 7 year 2099 like that. So we got a little more future. So of course, Cyberpunk. Oh my god! Wait, is that a? Oh my god! Like I'm watching the trailer right now. I'm seeing like heads in these little bit of Futurama style of tubes. I'm seeing her wake up like in this hospital, and she's like very wobbly. So something happened here. Again, I'm intrigued. This is how you make a good trailer. Get people to watch. It's no way. Gamer girl headset with mouse ears or cat ears. Yes. Man, this place looks pretty cool, actually. Is that a gun? So the gamer girl cat ears has a gun. I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold. Gamer girl cat ears with gun. Yes. She's still wearing the kid. What? Wait, what? Oh, 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 oh. Okay, that was sick. Is that a shuriken? Did they throw a shuriken? Yeah, that guy threw a shuriken. Okay, I'm watching. Okay, I am watching this movie. That was good. I'm watching this movie. Yes. Oh, but you got a cyberpunk setting, but not really
Oh,
cyberpunk.
I'm
So I like that.
excited.
So it's kind of so. And here's the thing I'll praise about the setting. It's not. It's still cyberpunk, but we're not really
But
in a cyberpunk metropolis. We're kind of still keeping more of like human society. A little bit like the Equalizer 3, where you wouldn't mind waking up in the city like every day, going like, wow. So we still got the beauty of the
kind of
landscape.
like
So
I want to say Animatrix too.
it
Like
looks cool.
the second revolution, like when we're
Mhm.
starting to see the second renaissance, when we're starting, because it's set in the future, but it's not fully like the cyberpunk or all the other ones.
Mhm.
I'm excited for
So it
that.
stands out a bit. It stands out with the setting. So good choice.
And speaking of the Onimusha too, the film just made an announcement too. Um I like
New
this.
protagonist. There's Mifune with the face. I mean, that's just a great actor in samurai film. How do you say his first name? I can't Mifune because I'm like, oh, I recognize that face. Mifune, Akira Kurosawa's favorite actor to pick. So, God, this looks
Yeah,
cool.
Toshiro
Mifune,
Mifune. Oh, oh, he passed away.
he passed away a long time ago. Actually, God, just that.
Oh, well, you know what? I like
High
this.
and low. That's why I said he's the Akira Kurosawa's favorite actor to pick because he's done a lot of Japanese samurai films. Definitely was Akira Kurosawa's favorite choice to pick a lot. So and he was a really talented actor. So, and even like the Mask of Vader originally was inspired by Mifune. Like even George Lucas wanted Mifune at one point to be in the movie. And another thing about Star Wars, it was well, part of that was supposed to be the Apocalypse Now film, but no longer isn't. But Lucas was kind of nervous that this movie would fail because at one point he almost felt like, why don't we just get the license to this Akira Kurosawa film? And then they'll know it's based upon this. I'm like, oh, you didn't have to worry about it because Star Wars became very popular. Whenever they notice chat during their geek out, that is. Oh, hey, Eagle.
I already got you covered. I got you covered.
So yeah, I mean it's been years. I mean years since we got an Onimusha game. So this will be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The
I'm
action genre is coming back. Love you souls, but time for the real men to play. Gotta get
yes,
back to the action stuff.
we need to put daddy back in the house and show you kids how it's really done. Let me see what I can. Let me see what else I can find. So apparently, oh boy, how Joker.
Oh wait, is this the whole Dragon Age lives? No, yes, EA, it failed because it wasn't a live service. Well, I think that is a choice.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
I'm
this one we could say I think it's your choice, but here's the thing I want to say. In the oldest game, like AC1 all the way up to maybe Black Flag, even Unity, this actually would have been frowned upon because it would have been a
oh.
oh my god, yeah. Well,
Could
well,
be
get better. Well, get better, Eagle. I'm praying for you. Things in love and strength your way. Get better, Eagle. Yeah, I hate being sick too. So, but oof, hang in there, hang in there. But anyway, as I was saying about like some of the older installments for Assassin's Creed, this would have been a desynchronization warning. Actually, this would have been all the old games like for Connor, if you killed an animal, you had to skin it. You always had to skin it. If you left it, it's like, hey, first warning, don't do that again. You did it a second time, you get another warning. Do it for a third and final time, the game will say, Connor always skin animals after he kills them. So why were all those games the exception now suddenly it's not? Do I remember in Valhalla or Odyssey and Origins, could you destroy stuff? Yes, but there were always some type of warnings if you couldn't really destroy stuff or really weren't meant to do something that would be, say, inaccurate to the ancestor to what people were doing. But why is this suddenly like this huge debate? Okay, so like again, like in a YouTube video or a video in general, shows you that you can do this, but I'm like, okay, but wouldn't this be a desynchronization instead of you allowing you to freely do it? Oh, they gave the option to do it? Well, okay. But I just think, wouldn't this be a desynchronization? Like wouldn't this be like it's a historical site or like it's something more religious? So wouldn't that make more sense to like put the desynchronization back in the game for a little bit?
yeah. It's really and it's actually coming from the temple leaders themselves. It's coming from them. The order came from
So yes, so I would say it's not like to frown upon, but it's like, come on, like
uh
it's like again, like I said, the older games there would be stuff that if you killed a civilian, you would get a couple warnings before. It's like your ancestors did not kill civilians, or like again, like Connor with the skinning the animals and a few other things. But to me, this is really like, is this really gonna be the game people are gonna die upon to defend? Really, like it's a religious site. Wouldn't you think that would be like a desorganization point, especially for a game setting in Japan, where Japan's is very much religious at this time period?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree, and that's just how things how things are, and it's like, damn, what do we do? And
Now people might say, well, the Ghost of Tsushima allows you to defend the shrine in a couple missions from the Mongol invasion, so that's more accurate. But it's like, hey, they again, Sucker Punch respects the culture, they respect the history. Unlike Ubisoft over here, which seems to be having a lot of controversy after controversy with Shadow, with the Shrine Gate choosing. Heck, I think even those in Japan said that they're actually not allowed to have a certain statue in the game, yet somehow it's in there. So it's like very protective, very religious. So it's like, hmm, hmm. The game that keeps on giving, folks.
yep, and it's controversy after controversy. I'm embarrassed.
Even the new release date, it's like, isn't this during Japan's most? Yep. I think honestly, at the end of this all, like I really have just given up on the game
I
and the
I have
franchise.
I have to, like, I've given up. Like,
My,
there
you go first.
I given up on it because there's really no way that that Ubisoft is gonna survive.
Uh,
They might break even. They might, because we're looking, eh, given everything right now. I'm gonna make a very reading here. It's a 87-4 margin against Ubisoft. Shadows is failing out the door, and this piece of news does not surprise me because they just can't they just can't contain themselves. Now, I will agree with you though, Joker. It should have been a desynchronized point, like, oh, your ancestors didn't destroy sacred temples here. That I would agree with, because you're like Connor and everything. You were right. I've actually had that happen one time, and I got so pissed. I got so pissed. I'm like, Gah, why
and I
is
was just
this?
messing around after a while. I'm like, really? Let me try this out. I was like, and I was trying to do one of the challenges. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And I kind of respected that Connor is still a native, like he's half native, half British. But yeah, his native ancestors, like you would be skinning the animals. You wouldn't just be leaving them to rot. You would skin them. But like I'm done. But to me, like I'm really am just done with this franchise. I'm done with the Ubisoft tomfoolery. I mean, this is a franchise that my sister's boyfriend at the time, he's the one who introduced me to it. I just got my Xbox 360 Elite. I have one game on there, and he said, "Hey, I got these two games that I don't play no more. Like, do you want them?" I said, sure. I said, sure, I'll take them. One of them was Halo 2, and the second one was Assassin's Creed. So, thanks to him, I got into the franchise and loved it ever since then. And to me, as a longtime fan, it's kind of sad to see how this franchise went. And I thought with Mirage, we were on the right path. Bring back the assassination plot lines. Go back to the Eden stuff. This is so cool, and yet not so much. It's Oh, like it's just. It just
I
doesn't look
know
too good.
we really wanted to give this game a try. We're like, okay, it's set in Japan. That got us excited. You had us at Japan. You had us. And steadily go. It's like, okay, we're set in that era. We have our character. Great. And for some wicked fucking reason, they really just took everything, flipped it on its head, offended everybody in the room, including an entire country. Not once, not twice, not three, but 5 times. 5 times now. It might be 6, actually. I lost count. Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed is probably going to be a minuscule short of a goal, whatever that is. Whatever sales they are hoping for, it's not going to be the full one. Because remember, people are really angry, and believe me, the comments are going to come. They're really going to come, and it's really going to be barbaric. They'll play the game. They will play the game. I know they will. But unfortunately, they won't get the players that they dream of because they practically offended you and me to the point in which we're excited for the next game coming.
Heck, I'm excited for Ghosts of Yota even more
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
like, again, like despite like I
Tides
know
of
people saying that.
Annihilation. Or
Actually, as a matter of fact, we can talk about this too. I know there are reports coming out saying that a couple of the writers of Ghosts of Yota worked on Dragon Age Veilguard, but if you actually look at some of the stuff they even wrote for Veilguard, they didn't do the Tarsh stuff. They didn't write some stuff. Maybe they're good writers, maybe they had some good stuff, but again, and when you look at stuff that who else is on it, who's still directing it, it's still the original 2 directors. I have faith in those directors because they made some really good games. And Ghost of Tsushima was successful. Remember, those directors, they are ambassadors to Tsushima Island. Yes, directors of that game are ambassadors to Tsushima Island. Think about that. Is Ubisoft ever going to get that award? Is
no.
this no? Is anybody else going to get that award? Like, no. That is like the highest of honor you could get over there, and it's like, wow, like wonderful. I think
I loved Ghost of Tsushima. I loved it. It felt like a game and set in the samurai era, which we
during
love.
the Mongol invasion. So, and for a guy like me who's a film nerd, it's like this is like an Akira Kurosawa film. Like I was
Mhm.
watching Ran or Seven Samurai, or like you name it. It was wonderful. I was like, this is so cool. Hell, they even talked to the Akira Kurosawa estate. And it's like we want to make a game mode. It's even though just a filter and everything else. It's called you can play it in a mode that's called Akira Kurosawa, as in completely classic Japanese black and white samurai. So literally, you could make a movie out of this. It's like this is
That
so
reminds me.
cool.
That reminds me of the game I played, Trek to Yomi. It reminds me of that.
You know, there's
That
that's
w-
also you can
that
tell it's inspired by Akira Kurosawa as well. He
that game was
Kurosawa was like
that
famous.
game was brutal. That game was brutally difficult.
I
Oh my
mean,
lord!
Kurosawa is just famous for making a lot of great samurai film, but
But
it's
I
not just
loved it.
samurai. He's made his like cop thriller, High and Low, which is excellent as well. You know, Ikaru is one of my favorites as well. Again, that design's really cool, and
Yeah.
like so many others, like but like even like George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, they actually got to meet Kurosawa at a point actually. Like he hasn't like Kurosawa, like he tried to get a film called Akagimusha, one of his last true samurai films out there. but he couldn't get the funding from Toei. So like after like there's a great interview actually on YouTube with both of them talking about this. So want to look it up, go look it up. But to kind of summarize that video, it took both Lucas, but mostly Lucas and Francis to be like talking to Fox and it's like, if you help them out, fund the rest of the film with Toei, we'll help produce the film and like kind of get it here in America. Because everybody kind of at that time for cinema, if you want to see like these foreign films like a samurai like Akira Kurosawa, you have to go to like these art house films to theaters to watch them. And a lot of people, especially the big dogs over there at that time, said you gotta watch a film from Akira Kurosawa. That's how they kind of got the hook onto Akira Kurosawa. And
I'll be right back, Sugar. Keep talking.
Yeah, for Akira, to be like, his opportunity chance to meet them and these two filmmakers to get the chance to meet them, talk about the art of filmmaking, what they do to set everything up. I think that was truly wonderful that Francis and George, they were able to help out probably one of the best filmmakers out there in the history of film to get one last film out the door, and one of them to be Kagemusha. It's very little trippy samurai film, very much more, you say this more, you see more like visual styles of him working with some beautiful like colors like purple, blue. Like it's a really great film out there, and I think that's wonderful. And the reason why I say I like Ghost of, I'm more excited for Ghost of Yotai is because of Sucker Punch's really good track record of making great games out there. And you can say they have a little bit here and miss with Infamous Second Son, but for the most part, they did a really good job. And Ghost of Tsushima feels like a completed story. The director's cut, where you kind of go back to Jin's, the island that Jin was being raised on when his father did die. So seeing that backstory a little bit better, and then seeing come to his more personal struggles with that was great, as I'm told, because I need to play the director's cut to get that DLC. And the ending for the main game, whether you follow the way of the samurai, or you finally admit that after us, romanticizing the samurai, the code of the samurai, or the Bushido code for a while, and whether you've kind of been honest with yourself that I am not with honor. I have no honor, because even your uncle calls you out in the game that you fight these enemies with honor. You have to remember the samurai code was about honor. You do not face your opponents from the shadows. You don't do ways that would be taboo. You face them head on with honor. You that's the thing about it. And at the end, that boss battle, it was very poetic, very beautiful, very sad. If you admit that I am the ghost, I fought you, and I fought with no honor. But most importantly, throughout your experience, you realize that I've been attacking from the shadows. I've used poison. I've been using arrows. I use all these techniques, and I will forever be the ghost. But if you choose to reject the ghost and go with it, then perhaps, yes, at least you kept some type of honor that's left. So, and I do believe that Jin's story is done. They said that, but couldn't they go back to Jin? I said they could have, but I think, to me, as a fan of that game, I think Jin's story was truly wrapped up. And with the new character we got, we're more further into the time period. We got guns now. We got a wolf companion. We got this awesome music that looks, the sounds wonderful. This time combining both Western and Eastern. So this looks like a really great game to play. And the reason why I keep saying I trust Yotai looks more fun. Looks more interesting. And if it does have some good writers in there, that's fine. But it has the Veil Guard writers. And you know what? Some writers can be bad, but some of them can surprise you. Again, look at the Scream movies or the scary movies. Yeah, it was the scary movies. One of those writers went on to write HBO's Chernobyl limited series. So think about that for a little bit. Think about that. So, if the final product is great, then I'll continue to praise it. If there's some weird dialogue here and there, I might go, well, whatever, but I can live with that if the main character's good, if there's still a good story to be told. And I'm sure, of course, it's going to be another Sly Cooper Easter egg again. Although, to be fair, I had that when I got to that part of the island in Tsushima and I was able to find the Cooper Clan's armor. I had that equipped for the rest of the game because I feel like I was truly robbed of another Sly Cooper game. So hopefully, after Yotai, they please Sucker Punch just go back to Sly. Please, I'm begging you, please, please. I need a new Sly Cooper game. I'm dying over here.
Me too, buddy. Me too. So, Joker, you mentioned Tides of Annihilation earlier. We didn't dive into that much. So now, while we dive into it now, so
Okay,
this was announced at State of Play. Tides of Annihilation. It's a fantasy action adventure game, kind of like Final Fantasy, based on Arthurian legend. So
King
medieval
Arthur.
King Arthur at the time. A single player game, which is very huge. Yes, please.
Hey,
From
Big Angry
Chinese
Phil.
from Chinese developer Eclipse Glow. I welcome it. Welcome a new developer. That's the thing. We welcome new developers who are willing to try. Studio
Hmm.
size is over 100 developers. That's actually good. 10 cent. Oh,
To be fair,
hmm.
some of the tents and stuff has been a little bit better recently, but we'll see how this goes. So cross your fingers. You never know. It could be good.
We'll put that right there in the sus box for now. Hey, Big Angry Phil, what's up? Um, set in mythical. Oh, set in a
Mystical.
myth. Jesus Christ.
Set in a
S-
mystical modern London, a medieval fantasy world called Avalon. Who Avalon's
Ooh.
always used, so
London
that's very
comes under
legend.
siege by an outworld invasion. Okay. Gwendolen, the only survivor, discovers a mysterious power to command the
Obviously
Knights of the
play
Round.
a Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn. Knights of the Round
So
Table.
female King Arthur. So wait, is this just fate again?
Summon knights to battle alongside
Which we do
uh,
see the trailer.
auxiliary frantic boss battles, fighting gigantic knights, coming to PS5, Xbox, and PC. Yes! Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this. So let's see. Here's
These are
and
some
look,
of the screenshots. These look amazing, by the way.
I'm I'm ready for this. Well, because look at this.
I
Look
mean, like
at
that's why I said
this.
you got a little bit of Shadow Colossus because doesn't that give you Shadow Colossus vibe?
This is really amazing. I believe this existed. I looking at the elegancy and the size, I fully believe that these were made. I'm willing to believe that these did exist. I'm willing to believe. And of course, there's London. Oh, I
I mean, she's
like.
on a motorcycle. Again, like I keep saying, isn't this just Fate Stay Night? Which you never know. There could be a cameo from Artorias or their version of King Arthur because I mean, Gwendolyn in the trailer, she is literally picking up the sword and the stone. So she literally is King Arthur right now. So I mean, this looks cool.
Oh, I am ready.
And we will see more gameplay later, so that's a good thing. We will see more later, like very soon. Actually, they said like
Here we go.
Yeah,
More.
that's one of the bosses. That's one of the bosses. So
Oh, I am
I want to
liking
say
this.
this one could be the play on either Sir Gawain or could be Merlin because I see a lot of books. Merlin was books, so you never know. I mean, this just looks awesome. I'm like, dude, this like the battlefield, the giant knights, the castle.
Oh,
It's
look
like a
at that.
graveyard. Like I
Freaking
said, that's the profile
see.
pic that I have.
This is
It's,
girl
it's awesome.
done right. Oh man. Woo. It it
It's Jennifer English, Shadowheart's actress. So, oh, I see. Wait, hold on. Is that a little bit? Oh, that's the trailer right there. Do you don't? But look at that. That looks cool. That's the trailer on top. But if you, but that dragon looks awesome. Like, dude, I
oh
am.
man.
You know what this dragon reminds me of? Well, despite the horns, the entrance does remind me of Smog. That's how
It
Smog would
does.
come down
It does.
to Bilbo. I can literally hear like Benedict Cumberbatch's voice coming out right now. Like, there you are. I mean, to be
Ooh,
fair,
there
his
you
voice was
are.
fantastic for Smog.
Well, there you are, human bearer. Glad to see you again. You probably have a million questions. No, I'm not gonna eat you. I'm
I'm
here to
sorry, you're
educate.
not Benedict. I'm sorry, you're not Benedict.
I gave it my fair
But that was a
shot.
good attempt. There
I
you
gave
are. There
I
you
gave I gave it my fair shot.
Again, not. But now you got to ask the question: why didn't Saruman go after Smog? Not Saruman. Oh my God! Hold on, Sauron. Why didn't Sauron go after Smog?
Agreed.
But this still looks cool. Like the first images, like again, this is really good.
Oh,
Like, obviously, the Knights of the Round Table is like the last shot of the trailer, but just look how dynamic this is. How there's only like one lighting in here. Like this is the where the sun comes in, and the Knights of the Round Table are. I want to say that's the Lady of the Lake or the statue of the Lady of the Lake in the back. Because I'm like that does look like the Lady of the Lake if this was their version of her.
or that lady we saw in
The library,
that, and also
the young child. You never know. That could be
In
the young child.
Legacy of Kane. Legacy of Kane. There's that female statue too. Could be.
So something like that a little bit. You never
Hmm.
know.
But I welcome it.
But
I
I
welcome it.
just do want to know if these are the actual Knights of the Round Tables or the old vanguard of the Round Table. You never know. Obviously, her wielding some type of magic. Magic looks cool in this game. Even if it's just a single shot, I'm like, I can't wait to see what the rest of the magic looks like.
Uh Actually, now I'm curious what the oh, that's a beautiful shot. How it's supposed to look. Like you want your background to be menacing. Big Ben at the stroke of midnight.
Something with
The
a
mi-
tower, look like a fortress or something. I mean, I also noticed the sea life. Like I think you kind of notice the sea life a little bit in that last photo on the bottom right, on the top. Like I get, there's even more stuff. Cool, like knives fighting with you.
I'm liking this.
I mean,
I am
again. Are we sure this is? They must at least be heavily being in some way inspired by the Fate Stay Night series a little bit, because just a little bit. But even then, I wouldn't mind if there is a cameo for Fate Stay Night. 'Cause I think that would be a missed opportunity if they didn't do it. Like
I'm
looks dope. Like, it looks really
this right
good.
here has me intrigued because I'm getting an idea that we're probably gonna have tag team um combo moves going on here.
So a
Or
little
this
bit
could
of
be a
Astro
cinema
Change vibes, a little bit with the
this
katanas.
could be a cinematic. This could be a cinematic right here.
You never know.
But I'm excited.
So in the
I'm ready for
trailer,
the.
you do see this gold knife fight alongside you. So up there's Smog again.
Yeah, I wonder who he is and what his
He's probably
story's
your
gonna.
companion or like one of the abilities you get. Mostly a companion. I'm gonna say companion.
That is a sword. I see the hilt. I see the blade. Yep. Well, but look how she's dressed. So that is actually cool. I
I
like
know.
this combination. It's a combination of both. Like she knows her legs are probably the weakest point, so she's guarding those heavily, but she doesn't mind going through the rest with like minimalistic armor. It's
But
minimalist
it's
because she
also
has.
giving her more mobility. She still wants mobility, not fully covered. Like in Fate Stay Night, King Arthur was fully covered. Like she was fully covered in armor and clothing. Her, she knows the legs are important, but she still wants that mobility still. So this looks cool. Like I just love the rain in these shots. I mean, if you want, I mean, you know why there's a lot of rain shots in entertainment? You know why there's a lot of rain shots in entertainment?
Why is that, Joker? Enlighten us.
Okay, so if you study a lot of Kira Kurosawa films, you know he has rains in a lot of shot. And if not, you just notice there's a lot of rain. The thing is about rain is simply this. You know, rain gives you that extra layer of emotion, you know, something sensual, like really, like you add something layers to it. So if you go back to the rain shot I was mentioning earlier in that photo, again, rain gives you that extra layer. Even though you have an enemy in the foreground, we got an ally on the left hand side, main character on the right. That rain gives you that extra bit of emotion. Like this is might be a serious scene now. It adds to that weight and emotion. Like we're going to a castle. The boss might be inside the castle, but we got to get past this guy. Notice how much the rain will affect this in the full gameplay. Like this is going to be a serious moment. Like this could be, like you said, it could be a cinematic, but that rain adds an extra layer to it. Yes, you have all these elements, but that rain gives you that little bit of a boost. Like notice how some rain shots in some films or entertainment, they're like,
Mm.
this is a happy moment. Like when the guy gets the girl and they kiss. Or if you're suffering a public humiliation, oh look at that, I'm running out into rain. Now I'm more depressed. Or how when Gunn and Shadow first fought after 50 years, that rain added that emotion. First, he's lost in confusion. Now he's has nothing but rage. Notice how rain adds a bit to emotion. I mean, whether it's just a good way to add to that visual storytelling, it's a great way to do it. So this, I'm excited.
I am too because I love how everything looks. This is what how you do it right here. And also look,
Like just like this
this
is like the opening shot to it. So I'm like, okay, again, very Final Fantasy inspired a little bit because I think that's what you would see in 15, 13, one of the teens at least.
and look, she's wearing exactly like you
She's got
said,
a gauntlet. She's got a gauntlet on her. I'm like, yes.
minimalistic armor right there. Minimalistic. And she's still elegant. Here, I'm actually excited to learn about this character
Oh
too.
wait, I'm sorry.
And
That
that
girl looks like Clive from 16. No,
right.
seriously.
No, she
No,
does.
seriously. On the
She
right hand side,
does.
she looks like the female
Oh
version
my
of Clive.
god, she does. Holy crap.
I wonder if that was a mistake. I want to know if that was just an accidental mistake.
If not, you oh
Or
imagine
no,
imagine
Clive
the
to
flame
Joshua.
wars.
I think she
I-
looks more like Joshua. Yeah,
Imagine the
you know what?
flame wars.
She looks
Oh
like
my
Joshua. She does look like Joshua now. Because Joshua was always in red after the time skip. He had some other stuff on him, but she does look like Joshua.
um She does. She does. And so, Joker, what other news should we cover in these last 30
Well, I
minutes?
think the final one is the one that I tweeted out to you. HBO expects The Last of Us to be 4 seasons long.
Oh,
We don't want to confirm
wait.
that,
Hold on a minute.
but looking like this season, and then 2 more seasons, and after this, we are done.
Uh,
For,
crap. I'm trying to find it. I've been through so much.
I mean, it
Forgive me,
should be the
Joker.
notifications under the mentions.
Ah, found it. Found it. Okay. Okay. So what do we got? What do we got going here? What do we got going? Because it looks like they just aren't learning. They are not learning.
Or to me, I have to wonder: are you really gonna drag this out that long? I would like to say, with the positive reception of the first season, it at least got people curious about the games. Those who did explore the games, thank you very much. But season one was a pretty much good retelling of the first game with some deviations that both did help, did enhance the story. Like Bill's story was very much enhanced. I think that I didn't think he should die in the season, but it was a good choice for him to die. In the game, Bill is still alive, but I think that was a really good choice to dedicate an entire episode to Bill, and his death was very much impactful. There was more time with that grandma who made those cookies. Okay, well, there were still parts and elements of the show that were at least on the game level. Like the cannibals were pretty much good. I liked that entire episode. Like I think David was more scary in the game than in the show, but the show had a really good actor for David, so that was a really good sequence. I would like to say Pedro Pascal was my favorite part of the show, and he was, and also we got to say for the hospital scene, Joel's performance by Troy Baker is one thing. That is a great performance and a great scene. But Pedro, I honestly love the silence when he killed Abby's dad at the end, and the doctors are cowering in fear, but it's that beautiful silence that makes it so worth it. I was like, wow, this is pretty good. They did adapt the Left Behind DLC pretty well, so that was a good thing. But this is Last of Us Part 2 they're adapting.
Yes. Then that's the thing. It's like and me
It's long.
mean bastard actually has a point here. Do they just stretch what the third game has for season 3 and 4, or only do half of part 2 as season 2 and 3? Will they do anime style filter content like that third episode in the first season?
Wait, there
No.
was? Wait, there was?
Anime style filler content.
Oh, are they mentioning the Bill stuff? Because I don't think there was an anime, but there was an episode dedicated to Bill, which you could say was filler, but it at least moved the plot.
I agree. They should.
Okay,
Looking at
so what Mean Bastard is trying to say is The Last of Us Part 2 is a long game, but the
it,
Jackson
very
stuff,
long.
well, long enough. I'll call it long enough. Or if you want to do the whole, what's his name? It feels like a double album. You get one story, but then they want to tell you another story, and then a finale to these two stories. So consider Ellie to be story number one. They you do all of her content, from the death of Joel and Jackson, well, at least outside Jackson perimeters, to getting to Washington, Seattle, Washington, to find and hunt Abby, and you kill all her friends, and then you try to find Tommy as well. So that's still one game, and then it ends in the hotel fight. No, yeah, in the the theater fight sequence before you fight Abby again. Then the game backpedals and says, "Stop. We're going to show you Abby's side of the story, to we can justify her actions, so that you can have a better understanding for this character on why she had to kill Joel, to her own conflict with the wolves and the scars, seraphims, one of the two factions. I don't think that one did this. I got it right here.
Mm-hmm.
But either then, when that's all done, you save those two people who left the cult. You take care of Yara. No, Mel.
Exactly. And
Lev. There you go, Lev, and then you realize, well, it's a headache with the story. They want to tell a lot. They want to talk about killing's bad, war's bad, the revenge is bad. You need to break the cycle of violence. In a game that people keep telling me that it has a lot of brutal combat, it's gory, it's violent. Well, that's pretty cool to have. But like I said, if it's just all that, then I become numb after a while. I won't feel anything. And I felt nothing at the end of the game because it's like, well, whose character's right? Abby broke the cycle of violence when she didn't kill. Uh,
Ellie.
no, didn't kill Ellie. It was Dina when she didn't kill Dina when Lev stopped her. She broke the cycle of violence. She's like, I don't want to see you again. Okay. But then you and Lev fall for the easiest trap in the world possible. Somehow Lev isn't already dead when you rescue the poor bastard. Like, no, seriously, Lev should be dead. Compared to how tall Abby is and her body mass at the time, yeah, I can see Abby surviving, but Lev is shorter, lays west, should be dead already. Instead, Lev is just barely hanging on to life somehow. Dehydration, man, mind you. And it's like, okay. But the problem with the story is that you can divide it into chunks. You just can't say, well, this is season 2, this is season 3, and this is season 4. The game is long, but you can also reduce the amount of stuff that we don't need. Yes, you still want to get all the important stuff in there, but at the same time, it's like, but why do this? What is there to tell to expand upon? We all know that Abby was the favoritism, hence why all the content that I felt like, can we just move on from her? Maybe won't she with her relationship with her boyfriend she may not care about? Do do I need to know that Yara was pregnant? Like if they removed the Yara pregnant plot line, I'd be happy. Because that was stupid.
Oh,
Like,
I
like you
agree.
remember that plot line? That was so
Oh God,
stupid.
that was mind numbing.
Like you're
That was
telling me this doctor
mind
who's
numbing.
pregnant
I
is
almost
fighting in this
had
war. You're telling me
I
all those bullets went past her, like, oh, it didn't hit the baby, yet somehow getting lifted up. It's like you just, huh? I mean, I do want to see how they do the Rat King episode when she's in that hospital that was like ground zero. That would be a cool episode to see actually, because they made the infected scary. So I want to see how they do that. But honestly, if you really want the short version of this, I really don't see using Last of Us Part 2 as the excuse, but oh, but that was a long game. It's long, but do we really need like 3 seasons of
you could
Part
fit
2?
you could fit two and be done with it.
You could be 2 and be done with it. But they're gonna say, well, Abby's story is season 3, Ellie is season 2, and then season
1.
that fourth and final season is the epilogue. But it's like, but that epilogue was short by comparison, like really short by comparison.
It would only be like 2 episodes.
I mean, I get it. There's the farm, but I don't need the kid to grow up with them on the farm. Like you got the point with the whole, oh, so Dina had the kid. It's obviously been months later. All the wounds and everything are healed. He's a bit big, and they're living a peaceful life. And she does not need to go down all the way over there to find Abby. Like it's really just like a couple episodes, and then you're done with it. But again, it's gonna be the ending that's gonna make everybody mad. Is that okay? She's gonna kill Abby, and then watch her not kill Abby. And me going this,
Even though you could, and even though you
kill
could
Abby to enhance
in
the
the
story.
game, in the game you do.
Actually, no, you don't.
Uh,
See, you must have forgotten that in the game,
have
the reason why I always say the
actually I
game
have.
conflicts with itself is this. So you're telling me Abby can get her revenge on Joel for killing her dad. May I remind you, Abby was also psychopathic because she's like, well, if I had the cure, I want you to go for it. When your own father is trying to tell the Firefly, if I go with this procedure, with this surgery, I am gonna kill the girl you're asking me to get the cure from. And what does Abby do? Go for it. You want your dad to kill a life to save millions or hundreds of people if they're still alive, at least. That's not very good to do. And then she kills Joel out of rage and revenge. And that's our whole motivation. Find Abby, then kill her because she killed Joel. But at the end of the game, what they do does insult you as the audience. Your little motivation, kill Abby. You're there. You're finally doing it. Like you're about to kill her. And then the cutscene happens of Ellie reflecting on the night, on what happened. It's a little quick cut to Joel, and then she stopped and she's like, go, take him. So she can't even kill her arch nemesis who put her through so much pain and trauma of loss, guilt, and everything. But then when we get back to the farm, it's like, oh no, all the stuff is gone and everything, yada, yada, yada. She picks up the guitar and everything, and then the game tries to justify, here's the reason why she argued with Joel. Because at the end, she forgave Joel. The night before Abby showed up, they have the conversation about like, look, I'm sorry for keeping the whole secret that there were dozens of you out there when you're really the only one out there. Even though Joel is solely justified on why he saved you in the first game, would have killed you, and you, the audience, know, yeah, but now we know why he did. He didn't do it out for cure. It is that too, but at the same time, Abby's own father was begging me to not kill this girl. Yet Abby's like, go ahead, go for it. If I had it, I want you to do it. And I get it, he's looking for moral support, but I'm like, that is the wrong moral support you need right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're contradicting your themes, ideas. You're conflicting. And look, and here's the thing. I do like the last conversation in the game because I think that's really meaningful. That is something. But it's like it's too little, too late. Because why? Abby's gone. Lev is gone. Dina's probably gone. All these people are now gone, and it's like, well, no, I don't care about the symbolism or anything at the end of the game, whether she's wearing the bracelet or not. That was from Dina. The whole point is So the game meant nothing then. Like killing is bad, but only if we say it's bad. But it's the big message you're not getting. You know, Pocahontas had a better message. Berserk has a better message. Cowboy Bebop. No. Trigun had the better message.
Mm-hmm.
Trigun had a better message. But
It
it
did.
just frustrates me that's like, I get it, it's a long game. But if they have the balls to do it, I'm just going to say this just kill Abby off at the end. And then it would have been a little bit more impactful. Because then she either could have been one, spare lab, or two, just, Mercy kill lab. And then I could have been like, revenge is like digging two graves. And the best revenge story that I've watched so far is Blue Eye Samurai. Why is that? The main character isn't always right. In fact, she's kind of a jerk. She's kind of a bully. She reminds me of Black Swordsman Guts from the Black Swordsman arc of Berserk, because she doesn't want to get too attached to people. She's got through a lot of trauma. But the reason why I say she's so great, because she follows the tale of revenge is a double-edged sword, and she walks that fine line of, she might get herself killed in the end to, maybe she won't. Like, no, she's gonna get her and everybody else killed again. Like, yep, she's gonna do it. To like, no. She has this nice peaceful life that she could have had until she kind of ruins it. Until Blue Eye Samurai is a great story of revenge, but do you walk that fine line of digging two graves? Is it truly a double-edged sword? I won't know, because I get a few more seeds are planned, so that's a good thing. But I think that's just a really good protagonist who really makes you judge on, like, is she right all the time? Is she wrong? It gives you a good contradiction to people compared to part two, where it's like you want one character to be right, and it was Abby. Of course, Abby's right. Of course, she is. But people are gonna say, "But no, her friends disagree with her." Like, I never care for her friends. They tried so hard to get you to connect to her friends or team. You feel nothing for them because, like, you killed Joel. Why should I care about you? Oh, Yara's pregnant? Oh, okay. Sympathy points? No, you can't get that from me. But we'll see how they do if even they get to like those 3 more seasons. But we'll see. In fact, I want to see how people drop the show quickly when they do kill off Joe. I said, like, either 1 or 2 episodes max, then Joel is going to be dead in season 2. I'd be surprised if they hold it for 3, but they're not going to do it for 3. They're going to kill him off within the first 2 episodes very quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you got to go through Seattle quickly. Then you got to go through Seattle again with Abby. Then you got to do the whole Wolf and the other faction, which okay, my head's about to hurt, but let's finish this off. I think, for the most part 2 is going to be the make or break of the season, because
I'm feeling
where
my
do you
head.
go from
I'm
this
feeling
point?
my head spin too. I'm feeling it spin right now. So I agree with you. Go ahead, continue.
Because where do you go after this? Not just from the season standpoint, but I know Naughty Dog was like, we don't want to be known for Last of Us faction company. And then Neil Druckmann's like, I got ideas for part 3, but then he has his profit game coming out, his sci-fi profit game, which, again, we just got to see more of it till it comes out, then fully judge it. I want to know what they actually do with it, but I just don't see Last of Us lasting. It should have been a one and done game, and then do something else with this world and universe, instead of continuing the story that felt like it wasted my time, at least.
It
It felt
wasted
like,
mine because the ending was so perfect in one. It was so perfect. You had the
I mean, like,
biggest
you got
cheer.
the idea with her reaction of do you believe the lie, or does she know he's lying? In part two, it felt like after all this killing, after everything's done, why is it now you're sparing her?
More questions than answers, unfortunately. And
And some of them weren't even that satisfying. It's like,
no,
okay,
I felt so disappointed. Like I felt
it's like,
disappointed because
okay, so you found
that
out that the
build
doctor
up,
was your dad. Oh,
that build up was so good, and it's like, okay, there's a payoff. There's a payoff right there. What we got was a half baked Big Mac.
it was called like a half baked of ideas. Some of them were interesting ideas, the concept to explore, but it felt like nothing really had time to cook. An example of good ideas on paper, execution op. But funny enough, the Angry Joe team, they said this better. I think it was Alex. It sounded like on paper, like he had a lot of great ideas, but it required precision, execution that obviously he didn't have, and the result speaks for themselves. Because honestly, where do you even go for a part three? You can't go anywhere else. Your characters are done.
Um, I agree. And where do you go from here? You already killed Joel, so there's no point in anything involving him anymore. His story is done. I mean done. They pandered out around Abby so badly to the point in which you just wanna bash your head into a computer monitor.
Heck, like even when they did the whole Abby story, it's like, this is breaking the momentum of me finding and killing you.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the theater fight should have been a you choose who do you want to play as. Do you want to finish the game as Abby, or do you want to finish the game as Ellie? And then two different outcomes.
Exactly. You need balance in everything. You need balance in the world because the sane player, you and me, would pick Ellie to continue
To
as Ellie
see if the
because
outcome changed. Heck, I might do like let me do Abby first, then Abby, then to see if I've made the right call. But the one time they don't do that, or the one time you think they should do it, they don't do it.
and
Heck,
the
I get
theater
it. It's a
scene was
single
so
player game
perfect. It
with
was so perfect, and
a.
you could have done it.
And the thing is with the Last of Us games and games like this, remember these are single player games. They have a predetermined outcome for you that the companies want you to go through, but then it can both work and not work. This is the time I think it didn't really work because it felt like when people get saying about if she killed Abby, then like if she killed Abby, it would have been
Oh,
satisfying, but then it would have made you question the bigger thing. What do you do with Lev? Do you just shoot the
where
bullet, or do you let
where
Lev kill
is
you later?
in Ellie's DLC in the first game, where is her girlfriend?
Dead.
We never got that answer. We never got that answer.
But it is also left to us to interpret at the end of that DLC, at the start of the main game, is that she's been bitten for a while now. She said this is like weeks old. Even when Tess shows you her bite, this is hours compared to weeks. She's like, this serious.
Because I feel like they just did a one and done with that character, and it's like, and then you
But it
get
also
the
leads you to the
little
interpretation because they knew it was going to happen within a matter of hours. Because Tess said this was hours, Elliot was weeks. I mean, you saw how big it got. It's like, oh, shoot, that's big.
oh, it is. I do miss the simplicity of things, but unfortunately, Neil Druckmann is
He's
he
got to
is
prove
good.
himself. I think there is a good director. It's just that you're learning the wrong lessons from people, or you got a bit too overconfident.
You're given the raw material by a man who doesn't know what the hell he's doing,
I
and
mean,
it's clear as
I just
day.
want to say if Bruce Straley was still at Naughty Dog, I think things could have been a little bit more
Oh,
different.
I would pay a heavy sum of money to see that version of Last of Us. That version right
Part two, at
there.
least.
Part 2, I
Or
would love
like
to see his
again,
vision.
I don't know
I
what
wonder
Bruce
how
or Neil
different
deleted.
I wonder how different it would have been.
I
I
mean, at the
want
same time, like for this, I don't know if it was Neil or Bruce or both men, but whatever Bruce and Neil cut from Uncharted 4, we'll never know. Yes, they even Nolan North said that what Amy Hennig was working on was definitely redone like 90% of it, but I still say Uncharted 4 at least had a satisfying ending. If
I
Amy Hennig was meant to be maybe slightly more darker or a bit more like, I mean, according to like some people who worked on the original Uncharted 4, you went a while without having a gun. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting to know, but well, again, we'll never know. We'll never know.
and it's telling
And
because
who knows what the internal politics were that like Amy Hennig was in charge for a while, then she kind of either left on her own accord or was kicked from Neil and Bruce or a few others. But who knows? Who knows?
well, looking at it and what we know now with I think it was sabotage. It was sabotage because Neil look at where Neil is now. He doesn't have Bruce anymore, and he doesn't have her anymore. He he's free to do whatever he wants with no one to like okay, we gotta rein you back in. We got to rein you in a little bit. That's what George Lucas should have done with Dave Filoni with Ahsoka. But I digress.
But I think it really is on their next game to be like you really got to prove it now if you can really do this. If
Because
not, then
remember they when they showed Intergalactic, we were like, okay, you you pulled the trigger. You can't go back on it now. That game is
I
already
am still
announced.
hoping it's at least good. But again, whatever he's talking about, like religious, I do want to say maybe religious is going to play a big role. Like maybe it will test your faith a bit. Like again, like kind of like how Dune does it for a bit. Like, do people believe in the I can't say the name, but in the prophecy, or do they not believe in the prophecy? Like, I think religious can be an interesting tool to use. It's how they present it in here. So we'll
Kind of
see.
like kind of like the prophecy of of the chosen one in Star Wars. It was told beautifully. We saw we saw Anakin and then the fall and then the right and then the death of the Emperor. So now it's to where it's like where it's just Luke and Vader the only two known Force users out there in the original trilogy at that time. Because if you take episodes 1 all the way to 6,
Oh yes,
it makes sense. Because when you really look at it, like look how many Jedi were there from like
actually, the way it goes this: if you take episode 1 and 3, marathon that with 4 through 6 playing at the same time, you will actually end perfectly with Luke becoming, Anakin becoming Vader, and then Vader's getting the helmet off. It's Lucas said if you watch it that way, it will sync up nicely to see the fall and then the rise again with
Mhm.
with Anakin. I think that was very much wonderful. I'm like, oh, I did not realize that actually.
Because you just look at it and it's like, whoa, this is good, and it's storytelling, and that's why we regard Star Wars as one of the greatest out there. Not because we're overhyping it, but because it told a cohesive story. both with the originals and the prequels. If you just count the movies in that order, the way George said, in that order, it's a cohesive story. It's a perfect match because both movies end with hey Mammoth, with Vader in episode 3, you see him rise up as Vader, and then in episode 6, like you said, you see the helmet, and there's Luke right there at the end, looking at his father being one with the Force. It's that whole it's that whole beginning to end, and it's told so beautifully, and you just can't help but cheer, and that's just the way it is. The problem with the sequel trilogy, there was a lot
Is
of
this they cut
there was
off
a
a
lot
lot
of
of the extended universe? They
there
cut
was
it
a
all
lot
off.
but there was a lot of
There's
great
no
ideas.
coherent vision.
There
You
was
look
a
at
lot of
episode
great there was a lot of great ideas in there. There was a lot of great ideas. Don't get us wrong. There was a lot of great ideas that did work in some aspect. Like, oh, okay, I could see this working, but it doesn't have the solid structure of storytelling that the first 6 movies had, which is why we regard it. You don't have like that solid structure. You don't have that solid beginning to end. You don't have it. It's like this, Joker. It's kind of like this. This is what the sequel trilogy looks like. Kind
The
of like
sequel
this.
trilogy it was just a coherent of ideas that they did not know how to execute. We had different writers, different directors. They didn't even allow Star Wars to breathe really. Original
No,
trilogy, Lucas allowed the films to breathe to give them time to be like, what do we come with the story? Where do we take the characters? Sequel trilogy, we had them one after the next. And it's like there's not a lot of time to breathe here. And
no, there
sadly with the
wasn't.
passing of Carrie Fisher and a few others, that you're just not going to get those chances to do another attempt with them. God
Exactly.
rest you, Carrie, and all of our other wonderful actors and actresses out there. Especially last year,
We lost the great
oh,
man, James Earl Jones. We lost
oh,
him. Because I actually sat and cried for 20 minutes. I sat and cried for 20 minutes in heartbreak.
what was it? They were showing the news a while back ago. I think it was ABC Tonight going through the Black History Month. And I'm just like standing at the TV, get to see everybody else, and I see James. I'm like, even Mufasa, me and my buddies when we saw it, it starts with the great James with his voice, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like toying with my emotions already.
Yep. Mammoth, we're about to get out of here though, but we appreciate you coming on
He was
by.
a man with talent. That man could act.
Oh, he was, and it's funny when you watch Lion King and you just hear him talk, you listen, and because he commands your attention. It's like all those life lessons to Simba. It's like it feels like he's talking to you, the individual, and it's like that is the most simplest thing I've ever heard in my life, and and for a strange reason, it makes sense. And that's just how it is. Like with like the legendary James Avery with Uncle Phil. It's command and respect. Like you don't demand it, you just give it. But sadly, though, we have lost a lot of good people, and unfortunately, there will be no way to tell a better cohesive story with Star Wars because the sequel trilogy already burnt every avenue of that happening again. And now we're just looking like, oh, what are we going to do? With that said, guys, this has been a fun nightcast. Thank you to everybody for showing up. Eagle Rider, we love you. We'll see you soon. All
Please
right,
get
take
better.
care.
Hopefully, get better. I'm praying for you. So,
Stay tuned for May, guys, because we have a lot of games coming out in May. I recommend you guys get your wish list going and everything, because we're going to be playing a lot throughout that whole thing. Um, We will be back tomorrow with Sonic Watch Party. Now that we got this bad boy all working again.
And the stream isn't cutting out. Good.
Actually, it only cut out the one time today. Only the
Oh,
one
really?
time, but it was only like 3 minutes. But it was still going live on YouTube.
Good.
And I am still figuring out the game stream part. I am still figuring that out. I'm gonna try this Saturday with Tomb Raider and go live on Kick and see what that does. Cause I'm starting to get a bit worried. I'm starting to get a bit worried, and rightfully so. Cause I'm just baffled as everybody else. I told what happened, and everybody was like, "That makes no sense. You went live for an hour. It should have recorded the whole thing." I'm like, "Yeah, and only 6 minutes of a whole hour missed." And I really do not feel like replaying the entire game all over again. I want to finish it out regardless. However, anyway, guys, we will see you tomorrow for Sonic the Hedgehog watch party.
There should be a
We're
way to like re-upload the save because some of those games have those a lot of those autosave
I
systems.
will I will look into that and see what I can pull from it. Hopefully there's a save in there that I can access that would get me there to where
Because
it's
one of my friends unlocked all the endings early on for Elden Ring, so he didn't have to go through it all the time and like go back to a spot where he could get the what was it? The frenzy ending. Because in order to get the frenzy ending, you need to go through a couple hoops here and there. And if you didn't want to play all the game on the hardest difficulties, New Game Plus, where you can die in a few hits, that's the way he did it. So I'm like, so there could be a way. But anyways, it's getting late. I know I'm tired. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Mammoth Eagle. Thank you, California Freedom Fighter. Who else? Rexus Prime. Always welcome, brother. Sunflower. And then and Vanessa Kitty. Thank you all so much for coming and enjoying. We will see you guys next time, like we said tomorrow for Sonic.
yeah,
And we'll
guys,
see you
be
guys.
here for the watch parties. We actually had some people come on by and watch with us. Let's keep
That
that
was
going.
pretty cool. So
Let's keep
keep
it
it
going.
going.
Because
And don't forget,
we would be more than happy to share the link with you. Just come on in, be like, hey, we're happy you're here.
and after the
Enjoy.
watch party, we always do have discussions. If you want to come in with us, you're more you're more than welcome. The more the merrier. We want more people
We
in
want
here
more
with our
opinion.
discussion, so we can be like,
Yeah.
what do you think about these episodes? Since now with the plot for Sonic Saturday morning, it is finally waking up and be like, this is the plot now. We're gonna be moving until the unfortunate cancellation, which we will get to when we get to the final episode of season 2, which we're
Mhm.
still ways away from. But thank you guys
Yes.
very much. We will see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Mhm. Oh, oh, give me a moment here. Give me a moment and